always makes me nervous that when I need to find it to pull the audio, it's not going to be there.
All good.
There it goes.
Hey, there it went.
See? I don't know why. Like, I didn't do anything different.
Hey, there it went. Testy, testy, testy. I shouldn't say that. That was horrible. Testing, testing, testing. I'm done. Goodbye.
Timber mammoths.
I'm sorry I'm 5 tonight.
Timber mammoths. I'm sticking with that. Cowboy Bosmer. There we go. Did we fix the audio? Are we good?
I think we're probably okay. We can go with it, I think.
You think? You think? We think? I think.
Yeah, give me one more quick test, Gwen, and then Crazy also.
Sneaky, sneaky, wrecked.
Also, sneaky, sneaky, wrecked. What other weird things can we do?
Yeah, we'll just go with it.
Okay.
It's already getting super late. So
It's still Sundas, though.
This might be the latest we've ever started.
Yeah.
Maybe. Alright.
It is. It is. Yeah, it is. Anyway. We can do
Alright.
count-in. Okay.
Pause for dramatic effect. What do you get when you have a wood elf, a Khajiit, and a Necrom dancer in the same room? You get the Snugpod Cast. Here we are back again for our very, very inconsistent show time, and we're starting later than ever, according to Gwen. Gwen, how are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Awesome.
How about you? And technically, she's not a Necrom dancer until she dances in Necrom.
Soon. Soon, my friends. Soon.
I'm doing all right. What about you, Crazy?
I'm doing good. Hopefully I don't have kid aggro. I just heard a noise. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I have kid aggro. I think we're safe. We're safe. We're safe.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I mentioned that we, back with our inconsistent start times, but we usually do try to start on Sunday. And we were discussing earlier how for 2 out of 3 of us it is still Sunday, so it's majority Sunday. So we're gonna go with we at least started on the correct day. So this is a Snug podcast. I am never separate, and as we've already established, Gwen and Crazy are both here as well, and yeah, so we've got a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about tonight because we haven't talked about stuff the last few weeks much, and it's kind of backlogged on us. And so as for what we've been up to in game, I'll start tonight because it's not much, and I haven't gotten an opportunity to play games a whole lot in the last couple of weeks, just with things going well. More than the last couple of weeks, but more specifically the last couple of weeks. But as far as ESO goes, I decided to start trying to get the Ring of the Wild Hunt. already had one or two of the leads done, and before we started the show tonight, I picked up the final lead. So once I go get that done, I'll be able to get that. That'll be my second mythic, and I'll be able to go move around and speed through towns all fast and whatnot. And yeah, so outside of that, that's been about it for me ESO wise. Crazy, what have you been up to?
Basically, what you're saying is you're getting the zoomies.
Mm-hmm.
You're a kitty who's gonna have the zoomies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to be running around at like 2, 3 a.m.? Is that when you're going to be playing now?
For sure. That's got to be it.
I just, for my solo setup, when I'm just running around and questing and whatever, being able to just get from place to place a little faster would be kind of nice. So I don't really need the, Oaken Soul for regular questing and stuff. So I'll swap it out and use it for something that's maybe a little more impactful, but or when I just want to. But yep. Anyway, Crazy, what have you been up to?
Well, White Strakes just ended, so I didn't get to do a ton of the event, but when I did get to do the event, it was mostly sneaky stuff. I did some sneaky time in Cyrodiil and got killed. And then I did some sneaky time in Imperial City and got killed. And that was pretty much the cycle over and over again for the 2 weeks. I had a lot of fun, though. I also did some Sunday afternoon PvP with the PC Lore Seekers at one point, which was always a blast. Like, that group over there that runs consistently is a pretty well-oiled machine. They have siege that they consistently set up, and they have a whole, like, at this percentage back siege pack up. Like, it's really great. It's real fun to run over there, and I've learned a lot about Cyrodiil from that group of people, so that was really fun during the event. Other than that, last night I randomly Toasted Peanut looked and realized that one of the endeavors for the weekly was 3 trials, which we had already done 2 from Tipsy Night. And then there was also a daily endeavor yesterday to run 1 trial. So he's like, hey, we have, like a little bit of time. Let's see if we can pug normal Cloud Rest. And I'm like, okay. So we ended up pugging normal Cloud Rest last night in like probably less than 30 minutes, I would say, which I was very surprised about. I don't really know the mechanics in there. I have only done Cloud Rest once, and so I just kind of did what he said. Nobody was in chat together. Like, it was just him and I in a call, and then Melivar from the PC side joined as well. Melivar tanked. And, yeah, that group was crazy. They got it done. We only had 2 wipes, and it was on the final boss. And the one time was because somebody went in the portal that didn't know how to do portals, so they never sent the shards down. And, yeah, surprisingly, it was actually pretty smooth for a pug. So I had a good experience in there.
You and I had opposite experiences with Cloud Rest this week.
Yeah, it was easy. I jokingly said to Peanut, I said, oh, so we're going to do this in 15 minutes then? And he's like, no way, not a chance. He's like, maybe less than an hour. And then we started running, and he's like, actually, I might have lied. We might actually do this in 15 to 20 minutes. And I think if we hadn't wiped, like the first time we wiped, the boss was at 3.8%. It was so frustrating because we were trying to just burn, and everybody dropped everything, and it was a wipe because of what happened in the portal, and it sucked because we were so close. 3%.
That's always how it happens with Cloud Rest, though. Always, every time.
So
the first wipe's always at like 3%.
It was so frustrating. And then the following wipe was like a frustration wipe because you could tell that nobody was on their rotation, stuff like that. And then the third time through, we got through. So But yeah, it was actually really fun. Other than that, the only thing to note is a little behind the scenes thing for me. I decided to get a green screen. So I now have a Elgato green screen that I got. And it works really, really well. I tested it on a stream with Peanut the other day, and I'm looking forward to using it for like Extra Life and streams, and I think it will work as well with the PlayStation, so maybe a future stream with it that way too. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's about it for me. What have you been up to, Gwen?
What have I not been up to? All right, so just because you brought up Cloud Rest, do you want to hear about my Cloud Rest? Because I also ended up in a pugged Cloud Rest. Let me tell you.
A normal or vet?
It was a normal. It was a normal +3 plugged Cloud Rest. Okay? Well, it was supposed to be +3. Let me tell you how this went down, because this is the worst trial I have ever been in, ever. Okay? It was a trial nightmare. Because we're all just like, it was like, Cloud Rest. Yeah, why not? Let's just do a Cloud Rest. This will be easy. It's just Cloud Rest, right? It wasn't until after the first wipe we ended up learning that not everyone in the group had run Cloud Rest before. And so we started saying some of the mechanics and stuff, and I didn't think I was qualified to teach trials. I now feel comfortable being qualified to teach Cloud Rest because of how much I had to actually talk about mechanics the other night. But we wiped like 4 times before we decided to kill one of the bosses and then go back into the main arena. And it was so weird because, you know, everyone when they run, okay, maybe not if you don't run Cloud Rest, but if you do run Cloud Rest regularly, you do know that there's kind of like a set way to do things, and you know how everything's supposed to go, and you know your mechanics, and everyone just kind of like goes, right? This was not that time. It was like ants scattering, running everywhere, and so I'm healing, and I like died like 20 times, and I'm like, God, why can't I keep these people alive? You know how you joke that sometimes you're like, it's hard to keep, you know how you joke it's hard to keep you alive when we're tired and stuff because you don't stand in my AoEs? Now there was 11 of you.
I'm so sorry. Oh boy.
And I thought it was just like, at first I thought it was kind of like a different terminology thing for people because they were saying like different things for shards. They were calling them like pins and stuff. And orbs were different term and stuff. There were people who were using different terminology. So it was kind of like a communication issue too.
That's weird.
Right? But it was literally the worst trial I've ever been in. And however, even though I had one bad trial, on a completely unrelated note, I had a great trial experience as well. I also ended up finally reaching CP 160. And
yay!
Yeah, on PC, right? So now I have 2 usable characters. I can play with people everywhere on PlayStation, and I can play with people everywhere on PC. NAs. Next is the EUs. Next I have to level up the EUs. So I actually did 9 trials on PC before I even reached CP 160. And so I had all the coffers saved up, so I opened them all, so now I had all the fancy gear. But I wasn't gonna do a trial this week because if I'm gonna do a trial, I'm gonna try to heal first because that's what I'm comfortable with, right? But the people I normally play with, like either Lore Seekers or Foxden, they were full up. But the Move Fighters, they had a spot for healing. And I'm like, you know what? This actually makes sense because they were the first people I ran a trial with on PC. So running with them for my first trial at 160, that sounds gorgeous, right? And then we did end up also running a Cloud Rest, and I got my Resto staff on the first run. So now I have So now all I'm missing is an Olo ring, and then I have my exact build on PC as I do on PlayStation.
That's awesome.
So there's a good end to this story.
Nice.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Right? Fun stuff.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing.
Fun stuff. So that's the fun stuff. Then I got some tribute achievements. I still don't have Rubedite rank. And then a while ago I did a poll for like what should I do for a cosplay next, because something I learned from Vegas is I need things that fit in a bag for airplanes better, because everything I own does not fit in a bag along with other things. And the winner was the Sijic cosplay, so that's what I started working on that pattern. So looking forward to making that.
Maybe you should look at trying to do a cosplay for a tribute card.
I mean, there is Sijic tribute cards, so it counts.
There you go. But you just go as a card.
I would not go as a card. Do you know how hard it is to do something like that and put it in a bag?
To make yourself completely flat.
And then another thing, a last thing on my side, I swear. Oh my gosh. With the Day 1 Vegas video, I am still working on it. I just need to add music, and then it will be done. After we got back from Vegas, things got like super busy and bogged down, but it is almost done, and I do want to finish it. It just needs music, and I promise it will be done. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we're all caught up. Yes.
Toasted Peanut in chat says, all you need is a cardboard piece. It folds.
There you go.
I'm one of those people who actually has like a pocket iron, so there isn't creases in my cosplays. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Because hotels nowadays don't actually always have irons. So I have this little travel pocket iron. Oh.
Attention to detail, not weird.
Thorough.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. That's all.
Well, we have some news, right? Some old news and some new news.
A lot of news.
Mostly old news. Mostly.
Well, old news is still news to some.
It's true.
I don't know. Where do we want to start?
I say we just go in order of how it is in the notes, but...
All right, you go.
Okay.
Bye, George.
Bye, George. Our friend George. Our friend George from Zero Period Productions. He, this has all already happened, but I definitely highly suggest going back and watching the replay for this, because George was able to host a online developer deep dive with the ZeniMax team. So he went through... and with Wes Johnson, who's the voice of Sheogorath and Hermaeus Mora, and a plethora of other characters for Bethesda and ZeniMax, they were able to do like a dive in the game's journey and Hermaeus Mora and kind of what awaits you coming up. Rich Lambert, Bill Slavacek, and Becky Iknoski, I think is how you pronounce her name. She's the voiceover lead. We're all on Talking with George, so he got to lead the interview on that. There was also another one that happened the previous week before, and it had more Elder Scrolls people on it. I think he did something with the voiceover artists. So definitely head on over to George's page, Zero Period Productions. You should be able to find it there, or I'm sure that there's probably a link to it through the actual page here. It was all to benefit Voiceapalooza, which was Wes Johnson's initiative to help raise money for Alzheimer's research. So all of the streamers throughout the month of May that participated in Voiceapalooza, I know, raised quite a hefty amount of money, and there's still a few days left. So if you know someone that is helping out with that, it's a great great thing that they do every year that Wes has been leading, and it's really, really cool how the content creators get involved with it. So definitely head on over and check out that replay.
Yeah, there is there's a link to the Twitch. If that's what you're talking about, the Twitch
Yeah,
page.
there's
a link in the article.
Yeah, it's twitch.tv/0, like the number, period, productions. So Gwen and I got to hang out with George quite a bit in Vegas, and I hung out with him at PAX as well, and he's just really awesome. So
We did. And he's a pretty cool dude. He was fun to hang out with.
yeah. So definitely head on over there and give him some love, watch their replay, and then, take a check out of Wes Johnson and Fallout for Hope as they work together for the Alzheimer's Association. So pretty cool. Next, also something that already happened, but again, check it out on the replay. They had an ESO live that they titled Arcanists Take Tamriel. So this was back on May 19th, but it was Gina Bruno and Amy, who are both community managers for ESO, and they had Brian Wheeler on, who is the lead combat designer, to talk about the Necrom Chapter's Arcanist class. Besides that, they also had on the senior sound designer Dylan Hairston, and they talked the new class, the design, mechanics, aesthetics, kind of all of that stuff. There were drops enabled, of course, during the live stream. Unfortunately, if you rewatch, they're not enabled anymore. But if you did happen to watch, hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you didn't, catch the replay while it's there.
And who did you say was on that?
Brian Wheeler, who is the lead combat designer, and then Dylan Hairston, who is the senior sound designer. They also had the senior FX artist, Brian Hahn, on there.
Oh, I thought you said someone else too.
Oh.
Because I was just going to point out that we don't talk about Bruno.
No, I said
Sorry.
Brian.
Well, you said Gina.
Brian. Oh, Gina Bruno. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It slipped in there. I've only seen that movie once, but I hear that song so many times. So. That's okay. We can reference Gina when she comes up. That's fine.
Oh goodness.
It's perfectly acceptable.
The joke was so bad my character stood up trying to leave.
Hey, it is what it is. Anyway.
All right. So we did the Arcanists developer deep dive.
Yeah.
And then there's a new developer video.
No, you're supposed to say there's been a new development.
There's
Anyway.
been a new development.
ESO developer deep dive, giving Tamriel's characters their voice.
Ooh, this is a long article. Holy moly. It's quite a long article. So I keep making my character stand up accidentally. Sorry, everyone. Now I'm gonna shoot stuff in the Snugpod.
We're fine. We can each take turns with paragraphs if you want. It's fine.
Sure, if you'd like to do it that way. I suppose it depends on how much lore we want to read later.
Oh yeah, it's late, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can summarize it.
Yeah.
Learn about all of Tamriel's character, how all of Tamriel's characters get their voices with this deep dive chat with Cinemax Online Studios voice over lead Becky Iknoski. We're excited to chat with the Elder Scrolls Online's own voice-over lead, Becky Iknoski, who takes through the months-long process of preparing, recording, and adding voice to ESO's many characters. There are approximately 300,000 lines of voice-over in English alone, and all of it is planned, recorded, implemented by Becky and her team. And let's see.
That's a lot of voice lines.
Yeah, especially when you consider that a lot of other MMOs don't actually have voice support.
Yeah, so we'll cover some of the main points about voice acting here. Let's do those. Jumping right into it broadly, what is the process of adding voiceover to our game? I always have to narrow down the voiceover process into 3 separate chunks. There's pre-recording, which is basically casting, actor assignment, creating scripts, and preparing recording sessions. Then there is recording, which is done either in the studio or more often these days remotely. That's when we record the actual voiceover. And then finally, there's a third stage, post-recording. That's when we get all the voiceover that we recorded back, integrate it into the game, and polish everything.
Wow.
All right. Okay, and then let's learn about the pre-recording phase. So to begin, we jump into the game and play through the content. Things are a work in progress, but we want to get a feel for the quests and meet the characters ourselves. We also work with writers to get an idea of who the major characters are and who we want special casting consideration for. For those characters, we'll create sides, audition information with art descriptions and some lines, and send them out to agencies. We work with a lot of different agencies, and with a few days, we'll get a whole bunch of auditions back. In some cases, a writer has written a character with a specific actor in mind, so we'll also request a read from that actor. Right. What happens after auditions come in? We listen to them all. We often take turns pulling out our top 3 favorites and then passing them along to compare our favorites. We also reach out to writers and developers to weigh in before picking. All right. Okay. Do you start recording right after you've completed your auditions? Not yet. So as you may know, there are thousands of NPCs in the game. We have a lot of little roles in the game, little merchants or mob enemies, so we'll get a pool of what we call atmospheric actors. These actors are super versatile and can do up to 20 different voices per session. For our character package, we probably end up with about 50 voice actors in total. Once we have our 50-ish actors selected, we do actor assignment. That's where every NPC in this package is assigned to one of the 50 voice actors we're bringing in. Once all the actors are set, and once the writers have put pencils down, that's when we start generating actor scripts, which is part automatic, part manual process. We make sure an actor's lines are in chronological order, make sure scripts include read-ins if the characters are talking to other characters, and prepare art and character bios. Alright, how does recording work? Once we have our cast list, we each reach out to agencies for negotiations and scheduling and build a gigantic session schedule. For example, our chapter packages will run almost a month straight, starting in mid-February and going to almost mid-March. What kind of direction do you typically provide during a recording session? We start out by telling them about their character. Often a writer will join us for this, and then we establish their voice. Sometimes they'll nail it the first time, and then sometimes we ask for adjustments. Once we start with one line, we'll go over any pronunciations for lore words. We may ask for an A and B take if they're not quite there, or if the director thinks we can get even a better performance, we'll get a C, and so on, so forth. Eventually we get into a flow, and it's like back and forth acting between the actor and director who is reading the player responses and other NPC lines. Is there any one group or race that's especially fun or frustrating for a voice actor to work with? It varies for different actors, but the Nords and Argonians might be the trickiest. Some actors love doing Argonians and nail the voice effortlessly, while others have a more difficult time. I don't know if it's the rasp or the sort of emotionless monotone vibe. Want to know something funny about Argonian sessions with actors who really nail that smooth but sandpaper voice? After hours of recording, you get really sleepy. It's kind of hypnotic because the voice is so soothing, like white noise. I don't know how to describe it, but everyone who is in those sessions gets so sleepy and relaxed.
That's funny.
Once recording is over, do you immediately go into integration and polish stage? As we are recording a 4-week chapter package, we'll already be receiving voiceover back from the recording studio, so once we're done, we'll have the whole pile waiting for us to nicely cut up with files and integrate into the game. Is it possible to make late changes to the scripts and voiceovers? It happens! Bugs will come in and we're recording, and sometimes a writer or designer might contact us and ask us if it's possible to change it. If we have not already recorded with that actor, then sure, we make some changes on the fly. We try to avoid extremely late changes if we can, but if there's something that we cannot launch with, then we schedule a pickup session. there we go. That, all right. So a big thank you to Becky for taking time to share us her voiceover process of ESO with us. And there we go. That's not the whole article. That's just the bits that we wanted to cover for the actual voice acting process. There's more to it. There's more. If you want to go back and read the article yourself, it is the ESO developer deep dive. Once again, it will be linked in the notes. But there's a lot more to it, a lot more opinion points, but just wanted to cover the basic of the voiceover process, because a lot of us, especially those of us who do podcasting and stuff, voiceovers, voice acting, that's a very interesting topic.
Down at the bottom of that article, it says Argonian ASMR coming right up.
Yeah.
Do you want to be put to sleep? Just listen to me talk like this.
No, not right now. Your eyes are like muddy puddles. That is the Argonian line that always comes to mind these days after running through Murkmire so much.
Your eyes are like muddy puddles. You should close them so they dry up.
What the heck? Okay, moving on.
Did we lose Crazy? Did she get kid aggroed? Might have gotten kid aggroed.
No, you didn't lose me. My input got changed accidentally.
Oh.
So I was talking during that whole time, but no one could hear me.
No, we could not.
Maybe you talked like this and
then
put
I got
yourself
told that
to sleep.
Then I got told that the stream died, but I was like, no, it didn't die. I was trying to see if the crackling was me, so I went and readjusted my stuff, and then when I unplugged and replugged in, it dumped all my audio settings.
Oh.
So I had to go
annoying.
back. Yeah, I had to go back and manually fix it. So I'm sorry for everyone who was in the stream there watching for a second. It didn't die. It was just, yeah. The problems of podcasting. Scamps. What I was going to say really quick about the thing that we just read, I thought it was really cool, and I know we didn't cover everything, but one of the things I found interesting in this article, if you go back and read it for anybody who's listening to us, it says that after 10 years of recording, they have over 9,000 words in a pronunciation guide.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
Well, it makes sense though, because if you have a world that is deep and as old and full of lore as the Elder Scrolls franchise is, you're going to have made words. You're going to have those pronunciations. They're just going to build up.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you start looking at like all of those Dwemer words that just look like
we're not
somebody
even going to
took
talk
some
about the
alphabet
we don't
soup.
talk about Dwemer.
Nachunzalif, stuff like that.
Gesundheit. Like, we don't talk about Dwemer.
Can you imagine though being a voice actor coming in and they're like, "Here, read this," and you're like, "That's not a word. You forgot some vowels in there."
No. You're a voice actor. You come in. That's the word they put in front of you, and they hand you a bowl of marbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just take a fistful of marbles, roll them around in your mouth, and then try and say the word. Literally, there's a whole lore book on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did we do these a little out of order?
No.
Nope. This
Next
is a different
the
one.
Arcanist.
Okay.
It sounds like what we already talked about with the ESO video.
Okay,
Or the ESO live, but it's not.
Okay. Now I see.
Now you see the new video.
Yes.
You are a Khajiit.
I will.
This one does not pay attention to which video part we are on.
Never mind, that's not much better. Anyway.
I will talk like this for the rest of the show. so
one would
that
like to
people
tell you.
can listen to this episode over and over at night to sleep.
My co-hosts are trying to get me to fall asleep. Just let it be known.
This one wants to talk about the new developer video with the Arcanist class.
Hey, that's not bad.
Thank you.
Even had the little
So-
purr thing in there.
I tried. So you can. There is also another article. Obviously, it's difficult for us being on the PlayStation. We can't really like flip it over and play the audio or show you the video. But there is a video under the news section of ElderScrollsOnline.com that is for some unique combat mechanics in the Arcanist's new stuff that's coming out in the chapter. So take a check out of that. My guess is that some of it does come from some of the things that you see in the ESO Live, but they actually did a full video on it. So pretty cool that is also released there. They've also been doing little one-offs. Have you seen the ones that they've been doing on Twitter for each of the types of, like, they've been covering different skill sets or whatever, or like different
Like,
roles?
I've noticed them. I noticed they exist. I have not watched them though because
Yeah.
I want to kind of just go into. I'm gonna make an Arcanist and I'm just gonna try to futz with it myself as I level up.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to learn a class. Just slowly futz with it. Don't read about. Just mess with it yourself. Get a feel for what everything does. Learn as you go. That way you actually know it, because you don't know it till you do it. I mean, some people can read everything and be comfortable. I'm not one of those people.
Oh, me either. I definitely will be practicing by doing, but I still think it's pretty cool that they're taking that and kind of focusing so that people understand that there's the 3 different like paths almost for healer, tank, and DPS. I think that's pretty cool.
Now, have those been specifically for the Arcanist or just in general?
The Arcanist.
Okay.
So they've been like they've looked at like a skill, and it's like discover tome of the, I don't know, something or other, whatever one of the skills is called, and then they give information on it or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
So I have yet to actually get to watch one of them, but I've seen them go by on my Twitter feed. So
And now, new news. New news isn't actually like recent new news.
new news.
I know. There's going to be another tavern.
I know. I'm super jelly.
And it's going to be in Europe. And it's going to be in a castle on an island near Cologne. And I totally signed up to see if I can actually go, because I'm going over to Europe this summer anyway. And we'll see what happens. So wish me luck.
If you get to go to Vegas and to the ESO Tavern, I'm going to be so jealous. And also, I'll pay you to mail me stuff back.
So wish me luck. I hope I get in. I really
I
hope
hope
to
you
go.
do too. I hope you do too. That would be amazing.
I've been trying to
Amazing.
convince my sister to play ESO with me because we've been wanting to for years, and I think this would be the push. This would be the good push. I think it would be fun. I really want to go. It'd be great. But
And
anyway,
you
yeah,
could-
that's all we know so far. It's a tavern. It's a tavern. It's over a weekend. You can camp out on the castle grounds. That's all we know so far.
Wait.
You could get to hang out with Rich, CJ, Finn, and Brian again.
Yep.
Did you say you get to camp out and like stay overnight?
Yeah.
Yup.
Oh, that's cool. I want to go stay at a castle.
The
I'm not
only
even-
difference to like other ESO taverns from the past though is this one does have a fee. It's a €25 per attendee fee. It covers all the things that we normally would do at one of these things. I don't know why there's an entrance fee this year. Maybe it's something to do with the venue or whatever it is. I mean, it is a castle on an island. Well, so
Maybe too, in case maybe it's to cover the cost of like
right.
camping.
I don't know. I've been told that like when I bring it up to my real life friends, I'm being told that it is clearly a vampire trap, and we're going to be used as sacrifices for something. That's why it has such a cheap price on it.
Amazing.
The language in the article is kind of funny too. Note that the entrance fee for this year's event, the entrance fee, this includes free drink tokens.
Well, yeah.
It's like not exactly free if there's a fee associated, but anyway.
Maybe the fee is for your breakfast.
Maybe. I mean, I know.
Who knows?
And 25 euros isn't really that much, right?
No.
It's not. No,
I don't know what the
it's not.
It's probably
Like,
it's close to $25, isn't it? $25, something like that.
it's around there. Yeah.
So,
It's not.
yeah. I'd pay that to go
Yeah.
stay at a castle. I mean, you can't stay in a hotel that
sure.
cheap. You don't want to stay
For
in
sure.
a hotel that's that cheap, at least.
I mean,
like,
you could, but
I mean,
You
you
might
talk about
never
you talk about a
leave.
vampire trap. If you're paying $20 to stay in a hotel, there's probably
Well, I
Yeah.
even looked at it because me being me, and always like prepping because crazy. You can vouch for this. When like Vegas was announced, I was on it.
yeah, she was.
I was on it. And
Like,
so I
literally
was,
messaged me, are we staying in a room together? I've already booked a room. I'm like, what?
yeah, like I was on it. And so I did that this time too, and I looked, and there is literally nothing nearby. So you
Oh,
want to
man.
camp on the castle. There's like a couple sketchy like Airbnbs nearby. But for some reason like a public transit like bus stop
Huh.
like 3 blocks away from the castle.
Interesting.
There's a couple sketchy Airbnbs, but there's a public transit bus stop like 3 blocks away. Europe's weird.
Well, make sure that you also email them, Gwen, because it says if you'd like to sign
I
up or
did.
generally
I
increase
did.
your chances. So,
I did, and then I emailed them twice because at first I emailed them with me and then my sister because I want my sister to go too, right? Because
Yeah.
she would love it. That and she speaks fluent German. She's lived over there for a decade, so
jeez.
she's the perfect person to bring with, right?
Yeah.
And they and so I did that, and then I actually looked at all the logistics and stuff because I was really tired when the article came out. And so then I looked at the logistics, and then I like sent another email tagging the previous email, like going, "Hey, I just learned that it is actually very isolated, so I would indeed like to camp on the castle grounds, please, as well, please."
Yeah.
And I said, I know this is silly to like hopefully push my chances, but I like signed it like, Lore Seeker, Gwen the Bard.
Nope. Good. Good call. Good call.
So-
good call.
Yep.
It's like for Vegas. I made sure to put Lore Seekers as the
Yep. I signed
guild.
it. I signed it as Lore with hope, Lore Seeker, Gwen the Bard. So yeah, no, I
Amazing.
just
Amazing.
need to get myself a Lore Seeker T-shirt to wear to Europe now, so that
We can-
way
we can do that.
before I put on my Sigit cosplay, I can rep us.
I happen to know a place. We're good. We can do this.
But yeah, that's that one. So if anyone else is interested in going to Europe, I
I'm
do
very
know a trans,
interested,
and we're
but I
friends.
would
do know a
literally be
trans
murdered.
You said your wall was already on fire this year.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can. I can. I want to so bad. I want to go so bad.
I could see about canceling our cruise for our anniversary next year and see if my wife wants to go to this instead.
I'm gonna guess no.
I mean, she likes castles. She might think
Just
it was...
don't mention potential vampire trap.
She likes castles, but does she really want to be stuck on some castle grounds with the crazy ESO community?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
She's been wanting to take a cruise for several years now, trying to get me to do it, and finally, 16 years. So
Amazing.
figured we'd go ahead and make that happen this year, but I, could always ask.
Good try. Good try.
But yeah, wish me luck. If we all wish me collective luck, maybe I'll get it.
I'm wishing you more than luck. I'm wishing you all of the things.
Alrighty. But yeah, that's all we have for news. Now we just have lore. Because we have a Meet the Character and a Lore Masters archive, we are going to put off Operation End Murder Hobo's lore this time, just because the show's already gotten pretty long, it's pretty late, and we have a lot of lore to get through now.
Holy moly. I just scrolled through the actual, the Arcanist's Lore Master's archive. We could push that to next week potentially, because it's quite long. Unless... That's up to you, all. How are you feeling?
Because how I was feeling, how I was seeing it, was I was ready to read the Meet the Character myself. But then I thought maybe we could let Never do the Lore Master this time, and we could read the questions.
Oh, okay. Oh,
if he's up for it.
He just said he had to step away. He must have had aggro.
Well, that's fine. Because I still have the Lore Master, the Meet the Character read first.
Perfect.
I pre-read this one, and let me tell you, I'm excited to read this one.
Sweet. All right, so we'll do the Meet the Character first, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Pursue forbidden knowledge alongside the brash yet brilliant Arcanus. Azander Alcibiades as one of the 2 new companions you can recruit in the upcoming Necrom chapter. From the desk of Eladrina Netherin, Shad Asthul Academy. Cousin, I offered you support during your ill-fated bid to become a buoyant onlooker. I held my tongue during that fiasco with the Telvanni mage. You recall the one with the chin that could crack a shulk shell? But I must draw the line at supporting, endorsing, or in any way condoning a collaboration with the Arcanist extraordinaire Azandar Alcibiades. Is Azandar a brilliant theoretician? Without a doubt. His transliminal theories are without peer. During his time studying in the academy, he regularly impressed me with an understanding of Daedric realms that rivaled our most august scholars. One of my colleagues compared his arcanum to that of Morian Zanus, late at the Arcane University in Cyrodiil. He's also notable within the Academy circles for rising from humble origins. Azandar's family was of meager means, no history of magical talent to speak of. I've seen his invitation for tutorial scholarship, signed and sealed by Archmage Valin himself. Not a singular invitation, but one only offered to those of unique and unimpeachable talent. That's why the man is so infuriating. If he was some charlatan hedge mage with an overblown ego, he would be so much easier to dismiss. Not so. He's a world-class talent. A world-class talent armored in a cocksure attitude, anchored by a devotion to needlessly complex wordplay, and blinded by a complete lack of understanding that his actions have consequences. You know my own academic history with man, and you still want to pursue a collaboration? An antidote, which I can substitute through a number of letters. Recall Tellinger the artificer, favored son of the Mages Guild, local celebrity in Orden, or world-traveling researcher? I can picture you furrowing your brow in confusion, so instead recall that debutante ball in Mournhold last year. He was that high elf. You wanted to be smothered beneath his beautiful beard. I imagine that jogs the memory. Tellinger had for years excavating a ruin in the center of Skywatch, an Aldmeri construct that was heavy with planar magics and mystic potential. Understandably concerned about unleashing something that might impact the city, he took a careful and measured approach, requiring a consultant familiar with some of the deep, very etheric constructs within the ruin. Tellinger invited Azandar to join his team investigating the site. 2 weeks later, Tellinger returned to the dig site to find the gates to other planes sealed, most of the Magica wells capped, and Azandar moving some of his belongings onto the premises. I'm unsure of what specifically passed between them, but a friend of mine overheard Azandar proclaiming that the portals had been pedestrian problem only interesting to children, and then he was doing the Archmage a favor by closing Agmantum that had existed there, presumably, since the days of the Aldmeri. The long and short of it is, Azandar Alcibiades cannot be trusted. He is too self-assured of his own brilliance and too charismatic by half. And while his cooking is divine, he cannot take criticism in either magical or culinary circumstances. Please, cousin, stay well removed, and do remember to write your mother. She worries about you. Best wishes, your cousin Elendria. While Alidazar is clearly adept in arcane arts, his ego also appears to be equally exceptional. Perhaps he just needs to meet the right adventurer, or that can best utilize his talents while managing his larger-than-life personality. Do you think you may have what it takes to travel alongside Azandar Alcibiades? Let us know.
Ha! Wow. He sounds like a character.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I figured Never would like reading as him for the Lore Master's Archive when I found out he was the one who's reading the Lore Master's Archive this round.
Yeah. There's some interesting stuff there with some interesting connections lore-wise as well.
There was a lot that they threw in there. That was
Apocrypha.
That was a pretty packed thing, yeah.
Have you ever read any of the original crafting motifs?
Yes.
So you know who Morian is?
No. I said I read them. I don't said I retained them.
Well, here's all I'll say for now. If you've never read the original crafting motifs or you haven't read them in a while, I don't think I had ever read them, but I pulled out my Tales of Tamriel book the other day to do some lore stuff and happened to start reading them, and there were some very interesting things in there, some things that tie to Apocrypha even. So I'm curious to see what pops up from this next chapter, if anything at all. But it is interesting to me that they say one of my colleagues compared his Arcanium to that of Morian Zenith, the late of the Arcane University in Cyrodiil. So Morian presumably did experiments as well with Divithfear, and apparently he traveled the plains of Oblivion quite a few times. One of them was Apocrypha, presumably, and no one has seen him since. So
I remember him being brought up before. Yeah, because that was...
Yeah. His Argonian, he had an Argonian student or an Argonian assistant, I guess, that, yeah, there's a lot in those early crafting motifs that are pretty interesting. So, again, I kind of didn't realize all of that, but when you were just reading this, I hadn't got to skim it yet, and when I saw his name, I was like, what? Because there was so much kind of dumped into this, meet the character here that
there's things to
tie
read there.
Could tie to many, many other things.
Okay.
Pretty cool. Looks like Never still has toilet aggro, is what I'll call it, which sounds horrible when I say it out loud. It's not what it sounds like.
That makes it sound like I really, really have some tummy problems.
I know, and I didn't mean it that way.
Oh dear.
You were doing plumbing, that's all.
I don't know that makes it sound any better.
Okay, alright, well, I'm gonna stop then.
For clarification, I had to replace
That's what I
the
was gonna
toilet
say.
today, and my kid just came out and told me that after she flushed the toilet, there was water coming out from under it. So I apparently did not get the seal set properly or something. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, it's not anything else.
I'll have to go deal with that once we're done.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, would we like to save the Lore Master's Archive for next week?
That depends, because I think someone's birthday is soon, so I'm not sure if he'll be here next week. As it's silent. Isn't it your birthday soon?
Hermaeus Mora? What?
I mean,
Got a birthday coming
I
up?
don't know. No, I think it is your birthday coming up.
Is your birthday next Sundas?
Well, my wife's planning something that day. I think my birthday's actually Tuesday, 14th. Whatever day that is.
I just wasn't sure.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to affect me being here or not.
Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter. We can read it. We can read it tonight. I'm fine with that. I just wanted to ask because I didn't know. I couldn't exactly, to be honest, remember what day your birthday was. So now I know. Ha ha! It was all part of my evil plan.
Yep, totally not adding that to my calendar right now.
Me either. I will not be exploding his Discord that day as I nod yes up and down.
No, I actually just deleted Discord off my phone anyway, so.
Well, then how are you just talking to me a minute ago in Discord?
Just now. I just now deleted it.
Wow, okay. Well, you're the guild master. You probably should put it back on.
Probably so. I didn't delete it, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But if we're going to read it, we should probably read it, because I'm going to have to go and probably wake my wife up to help me with...
Well, what I'm thinking, because hear me out. We might want to save it, because next week is... next Sunday is the 4th, right?
Yep.
Now, the thing about the 4th is that means the next day is the 5th, which means Necrom releases on PC, which means
That's
there probably won't be
right.
that much news that Sunday. So we
Also
might
correct.
want to read it so we have something nice to read on next Sunday.
I'm down with that.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fine.
That's what we'll do then.
Perfect.
Well, cool beans. Does that mean that for this week, that's it?
That's it.
I think that's what it means.
All right. Cool. I get to go handle my plumbing problems. Gotta love those late night plumbing issues.
Listen, as someone who had to completely take apart a sink today and deal with plumbing, I feel you. Is it us? Is there something? Is there something we should know? Are there
Well,
toilets in Tamriel? We've never
yeah,
actually
Murkmire,
seen a
remember?
toilet. Well, oh my gosh, no.
I mean, there is the Cyrodiil sewers, so sewers imply toilets, right?
That's true, they do. You would think so. We've just, in all the bathroom stuff that they've released for furnishings, there's never been an actual toilet.
Outhouse?
Peanut says they're storm sewers, not toilet sewers.
Whatever.
Yeah, but there's still some funky stuff crawling around down there that probably feeds on.
Thank you, Peanut. That does make sense.
Yeah, well, there's definitely stuff crawling around down there, Mollog Ball. He's kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a something. Definitely kind of a something.
He's kind of a dead when there's a group of people in the middle of the sewers.
Yeah. Yep.
Just the simulacrum, that's all. Yes, that's right. So, well, if that's it, if that's all the lore for this week and we're saving the other one for next week, then that's it. We did it.
Yay.
That is it. We finished a show.
We did a show that spanned 2 whole days.
We did. It is
Oh,
over
gosh.
2 whole days. Can you believe it? Our show was 2 days long.
People listening to this later are going to be like, what are they talking about?
It's like
gonna
an
be like-
hour.
It was only an hour. This is like one of the shortest shows they've ever done. What are these people talking about? One of the shortest shows where you got information that you could have gotten 3 weeks ago from somewhere else.
I swear next week will be more professional.
Hey, don't put
Yes.
dwarven words in my mouth.
Listen, Peanut says, is this one of those jokes? Like December 31st, see you next year?
Hmm.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep. Pretty much. We're going to
That's
be
exactly what it
about
was.
as professional next week as we were last week.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yep, my character accidentally stood up there.
It's okay. I've stood up and dumped the stream just a few times, so it's okay. We're fine. Everything's fine.
It's all good.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, we go over our announcements real quick. We have Mondays with Moki, fishing, Cyrodiil, other things. That's at 8 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Treacherous Tuesday is Dungeon Day. Jump in, do some lore runs or some achievement hunting or gear farming, any of that kind of stuff. That's the day that we kind of encourage everybody to try to group up and run dungeons. And then Fearless Friday with Arthuria. It's Undaunted.
Undaunted. We are undaunted.
Undaunted.
Yeah. So run through and do the Undaunted quests and delves and whatnot. And yeah, so that's our kind of our schedule. If you want to come be a part of any of those events and hang out with us, you can do so by going to loreseekers.club, and that will get you all the links to all the things that you need, or you can jump right into Discord through discord.gg/loreseekerseso, and that will bring you into our Discord. You can apply to join the guild there. And if people are interested in finding us on the social medias, how might they do so?
Snugpod Cast.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Our roots spread far and wide.
Yep. Snugpod Cast.
Or we branch out to many
We
places.
branch out. It's
Yep.
unbearable.
At Snugpod
No,
Cast.
it's unbramble.
That's funny.
Oh, boy.
Yep. So if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, both are options. You can find us just by going to searching Snug Podcast or going to twitch.tv/SnugPodcast, or you can search for us on your podcast apps too, and you should be able to find us there. So if you want to watch, you have ways to do it. If you want to listen, you have ways to do it. So come hang out with us, and until next week or next sometime in the future, I guess for now, everybody have a great night, have a great week, and take care of yourself, take care of others, be a decent person, and we will catch you next time.
Stay
Bye.
well, Tamriel.